Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the first time if you are new. We are here to start a new show on the channel, and that is Marvel Studios' Echo. This show is going to be following the character of Echo that we first met in the Hawkeye series, which I enjoyed. I thought Hawkeye was pretty good, and I thought Echo was a cool character from that show. I don't know if necessarily they needed to make a whole spin-off show for her character, but it's here and I'm gonna watch it. And I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard a couple people say it's really good, and I've heard a couple people say that they didn't quite enjoy it. But I'm gonna check it out anyway. I am pretty interested in seeing what it's about. We last met Echo in Hawkeye, obviously, and at the end of her storyline in that show, she shot Kingpin in the face and seemingly killed him. Now, I've read some comics throughout my life, and I am somewhat familiar with, I think, the story that they were drawing from. And in that, Kingpin doesn't die. Plus, we also know that the Daredevil show is going to be coming back again, and Kingpin is going to be in that. So I'm pretty confident that he lived through that somehow, and that we will be seeing him going forward quite a bit. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if like there was necessarily a need for this show. I think this show was kind of greenlit at the time. Like, this was what, the end of whatever 4, end of phase 4, maybe end of phase 3. I don't know, when they were essentially like greenlighting everything. Like, they greenlit like 5 different spin-off shows in the span of like, I don't know, like a couple months. There's this one. There's like a Wonder Man one. There was there's the Agatha show. That's another one that was, I think, like greenlit around the same time as this one. And it was when Marvel was just kind of in this mentality of like, hey, the more the better. Like, if we can just push a whole bunch of shows and movies out, we need more content to fill out Disney Plus. So like, let's use our biggest properties, Marvel, Star Wars. Let's just push out content from those shows. And it's come to the point where people are like, yo, you need to chill. We would rather have good shows and good movies, and less of them, than having mediocre stuff that you kind of just rush out. And so I think they probably put a lot of effort into this show. I mean, it's only 5 episodes, so it's not like they greenlit some super long season that nobody's gonna watch. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if there was necessarily a need for this show to exist. I think it was just kind of born out of the time period where Marvel was like, hey, the more the better. That being said, I'm not upset that it does exist. I think it's pretty cool that a Native American character is getting their own show and their own spotlight. Like, I think that's pretty cool that they can spotlight that and focus on that. From what I've heard, they're going to be focusing a decent amount on her Native American heritage, and also her being deaf and disabled slightly. I mean, she's an amputee, so I mean, just a lot of things that are coalescing, which kind of make this character pretty interesting, because she's, got a lot of different aspects about her that I think it's pretty cool to have characters with those attributes, frontlining their own Marvel Studios thing. And so I'm pretty curious to see how much they lean into that. And I also know that this show is like dubbed in her native, was it Choctaw? I think that was the name of her tribe. Like, in their native tongue, it's being dubbed in that, which is pretty cool. So like, those people can watch this whole show in their own like native tongue and feel represented that way. I think that's pretty cool. My guess is that there won't be a season 2 of this show. Even if this show like absolutely bangs and is super good, I think it will become a victim of just the new Marvel thought process, if that makes sense. Because I mentioned how they were like just pushing everything out. They've come out publicly since then and and been like, we need to scale it back in terms of like what we're putting out. And I think this will probably end up being a victim of that, unfortunately, regardless of how good it is. So my guess is we're only going to get the 5 episodes, but I am excited to watch those five episodes. So we're going to jump into it. Before we do that, if you end up enjoying this reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me, helps my channel grow. If you're new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. Especially if you want to see me react to more of this show and more of Marvel stuff in the future. I react to a lot of it already, and a lot of it's on the channel. So if you're interested in checking those out, definitely search for it on the channel. And then if you want to see the full, uncut, full-length reaction to this episode, consider checking out my Patreon or join YouTube memberships. Those are both linked in the description down below. Since this is the first episode of a new show or a new season, that uncut is going to be completely free and public for anyone to check out. And if you find that that's something you're interested in going forward, then your support would mean the world. You just sync up your own copy of the show and you can watch along with me. But other than that, let's jump into episode 1 of Echo. Marvel Studios. Spotlight, just like Werewolf by Night. What is that? Someone gonna pop out of there? Okay. Okay, everyone's coming out of these little puddles. Just a whole bunch of naked people coming out of puddles, communing with birds. What is going on? Did they live in the shallow earth? Okay. Very curious. Oh, they all have clothes on now, though. Okay.
That's the story of the first Chafa people. We're cousins.
Seems like there's a fundamental disagreement there about which one is which. Sisters or cousins, make a choice.
Everybody should love something that much.
Precious.
It's raining in the tent.
No more hot chocolate. Come on now.
Something eating you? Ancestors whispering in your ear again?
Something tells me... Oh, she's out of brakes. Turn the car off. Oof. That's no bueno. I'm guessing her mom dies because it was just her and her dad in Hawkeye. Oh yeah, and she gets her, it's probably where she gets her leg amputated.
How is she? I didn't tell her yet.
These guys were in The Last of Us. I didn't even realize.
I found out who cut the brakes. They're taken care of.
Oh, you think that makes me feel better? You took her from us. You.
All right, I think it's time to go.
No. It's time for him to go.
Yo. Chill, lady.
To Bonnie.
Wow. Bonnie needs to smile. Ooh, she doesn't know that she's dead. She just thinks she's hurt. Poor family. Is Bonnie... She thinks they're sisters, but Bonnie says they're cousins.
You're going to grow up and have a different life than me. I want yours to be better.
I feel like... Is this... Have I already seen this part? I think they showed these scenes in Hawkeye.
Maya.
Yeah. She is a feisty individual. Don't underestimate her. Oh, yep. Yeah. We saw all this in Hawkeye. Because Clint killed everybody. That's rough. That's rough. She's stealing a fancy bike. Damn, they got a lot of cop cars for that.
Sir, didn't you just step back?
Yeah, you don't tell the Kingpin to step back.
We all mourn your father.
It's nice that he hires an interpreter.
My father was killed also.
Yeah, by you. You killed your father. With a hammer.
Let me help you release this rage in a more constructive way.
Crimes. Organized crimes.
We're here for the meeting.
A little late for that. You bring the donuts? Yeah, we got some more. Turn around.
Come on now.
Okay.
That's what happens when you sexually assault a woman.
Kingpin thanks you for your loyalty.
Oh. Damn, that guy, he got smoked immediately. Damn. These guys are, I mean, they're somewhat capable. Maya, you gotta step in though. gonna get someone killed if you don't walk in there. She's gonna break his neck. Oof. Okay, she's in the zone now. Is that the first time she's killed someone? Oh, this guy?
Nice.
Nice job, kid.
Daredevil! What's up, bud?
I've been watching them all night. And then you guys show up. And screwed everything up.
She doesn't know what you're saying. Damn, the way she just like held her foot back for a second was kind of dirty. Surprised that shotgun was fully loaded. So far, the combat is real nice.
None of my men have ever held their own with him like that. You did better than even I expected.
Was it a setup? Big fan of killing people now, apparently. Yep.
Your boss wanted your father dead. Yes, your boss.
He is not lying, unfortunately. Kingpin used ya.
What a surprise.
Five months later. Oh. Yo, I think you should see a doctor. Where is she going? Is this back to her grandparents' house? Ugh. Ugh. With floss? I feel like that is not the correct way to do it. It's probably going to be her family. They're using a kitchen knife.
Oh, heck. If my grandma finds out someone's squatting here, there's gonna be hell to pay.
Who's that guy?
Maya? It's me, Biscuits.
Biscuits is a person? I thought Biscuits was like a dog.
This is Maya. She's our cousin. She's good people.
Trust her, dog.
Good to see you, cousin. Maya Lopez is back. Maya's back.
Evergreen. That's the boat that got stuck in the canal. Hey. Not strong defense on that layup, though. If they were quick about it, they could have blocked that. Make America skate again?
What size? I have a headache.
What do I recognize this guy from?
So what's it gonna be?
That guy.
Well, if you ain't here to skate, he ain't available. It's $7 to skate, or it's $5 to watch.
$5 to watch?
Red light stop. Use your core. Oh.
It's hard to stop on a dime like that. Information on the King Killer.
Bullet or blade?
Blade. Oh, bullet. Never mind.
All right. What are we working with here? Dental floss. Nice.
Ew. Ugh.
If she finds out you were here and you didn't see her,
She gonna be mad. Fisk shipping.
I won't bring a war here to the people I love and who love you. Why are you doing this?
She wants to be in charge. Oh yeah, he's still alive. A little too beefy to be taken out by a bullet to the eyeball. Dang. All right. I thought that was pretty good. I thought it was a solid start for episode 1. There was a decent amount of like catch up from what we've already seen in Hawkeye, which I think was necessary for new viewers, right? Like they didn't want to just like pick up immediately after like the events of Hawkeye, because I think who the characters are and everything that happened, I think like a recap was necessary. They definitely added in quite a bit of like extra backstory and new shots, new things to kind of flesh out that story and the motivation behind it. But there was a decent amount of stuff in this episode that we have already seen. But yeah, they filmed a lot of new stuff. They filmed a really cool fight scene with Daredevil, where I assume it was like the first time she killed someone. And then like the fight scene itself with Daredevil was super cool. Like it felt very kinetic. There were definitely a lot of like hidden cuts and stuff. It wasn't like a crazy long like one shot, which I don't mind. Like I mean, so the one shot fights in Daredevil were super cool. I really enjoyed those. But I think Daredevil accidentally spawned a type of fight scene in media that I don't love. if that makes sense. Right, like the hallway fight scene in season 1 of Daredevil, and then the biker fight scene in season 2 of Daredevil, both incredible fight scenes, but they spawned this like trend in superhero media of like one-shot fight scenes that aren't good. If that makes sense. Like a whole bunch of shows and some movies were like, oh, that's the type of fight scene people think are cool, that's the type of fight scene we should make, and they started copying that trend, and they would but like the unfortunate thing is the camera work and the way they shot it was like too far away, or like they just chose really weird like blocking and different aspects of how they shot it were to like they all look bad. Like the technical, like, you know, the technique and all the fight technicalities and the choreography itself, those were all like cool, but it spawned like no one knew how to like shoot it camera wise, so they all looked bad. Like this was like a staple of like the CW shows. They all shifted to this like one shot style camera work for their fights. It would be like, oh, we're just trying to do these like long shots, these long fights, and it was blatantly obvious that like none of these people are connecting on their hits. It's just like the choreography doesn't work, and it makes it real hard to, you know, reshoot specific hits, right? Like you can't just reshoot, you know, a quick 10-second portion of this fight when your fight in itself is a 4-minute one shot, because then you have to reshoot the whole 4-minute one shot. and there's just too much of a hassle. So a lot of the fights looked really bad. So as much as I love the fights in Daredevil and the combat in Daredevil, it did spawn this epidemic of really, really bad fight scenes. And I know people don't love the fight scenes where it's like rapid, quick cutting and every hit has a different cut, but I tend to find those fights a little bit more entertaining and believable than the one shots where you can clearly tell they're not actually hitting each other. And I think this one has a happy medium, right? Like it's not just like it's not like a 3-minute one shot fight. Like there's several hidden cuts in there where you can tell they either switched out actors or they just went to a whole new shot. And I thought the fight worked really well, was very kinetic, was just a good time, and I thought it was dope. I also thought this episode did a decent job of just kind of like setting us up with, you know, who the character is and who are some of the reoccurring characters that are going to be featured in the show. But yeah, they touched on a lot of like themes of like we're going to be dealing a lot with community and family and probably a redemption arc for Maya, right? Because she goes from, I mean, we see her go from a kid to seeing her father murdered to then being part of Kingpin's journey because she wants revenge, and then you know, having Kingpin betray her. She kills Kingpin and now is going to be starting her journey back to the light, right? Hawkeye started her on that journey. I assume if she hasn't completed that journey by the end of this series, she'll maybe touch on that in the Daredevil show, because I think she's going to be in that a little bit. I'm not 100% sure. One thing I'm curious about is the scenes at the beginning with the first Choctaw people. I wonder if we're going to see more of that, or like if they're going to incorporate more of some of the mystical aspects of like First Nations and Native American like storytelling and history, because that, I feel like that's often something that's touched on when we explore like Native American themes, is this like sense of mystery and mysticism and ancestor, like talking to the ancestors. And it almost looked like they had like, not like special powers like when they were in that cave, but like, I don't know, they were drinking, I don't know how to explain it. I think doesn't the character have, I think she has abilities in the comics, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm just curious to see if we touch more on the ancestral, like, original Choctaw people, and not just like present day. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. It was a pretty solid setup for the rest of the season. I feel like you definitely did need to see Hawkeye to enjoy this episode as much. Like, if you hadn't seen Hawkeye or some of the other Netflix shows like Daredevil, I think there's a lot of context like this. A lot of the recap and connecting through lines of this episode only make sense and are somewhat satisfying when you have the context of the Daredevil Netflix show and Hawkeye. Like, if you hadn't seen any of that, like, this first episode probably feels pretty disjointed in terms of, like, how quickly it recaps Maya's story and how it explains, like, motivation and stuff. Like, if you were coming in blind, you probably watched that and were like, what the frick? Like, why did she suddenly shoot him in the face? Like it's very much a show that is marketed as, like, a spotlight show where you don't have to have other connections. I mean, like Werewolf by Night, you didn't have to see anything else to get that story. This, you definitely have to have seen multiple seasons of television to understand what the frick was going on and, like, different motivations and stuff. But that is neither here nor there. I've seen all of it, so I understood it all. I enjoyed it. I recognize there might be some people who need to see more. But yeah, definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of this episode. I'm very curious if you have watched all 5 episodes yet. Let me know what you think. If you haven't seen it, you know, what are you looking forward to? Other than that, though, if you enjoyed my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a ton to me, helps my channel grow. If you're new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then again, if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider either supporting me on Patreon or joining YouTube memberships. You just sync up your own copy of the show and you can watch along with me. Since this is the first episode of a new show or a new season, that uncut will be completely free in public for anyone to check out. And if you find that that's something you're interested in going forward, then you're supporting me in the world. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.